Hey guys, this is John. Thanks for your positive feedback on that video where I was describing the inadvertent illegal castling incident where I actually ended up winning the game. I thought it'd be fun to relate another anecdote from my chess career. This one happened back in 2009. This is from a game I played against Grandmaster Alejandro Ramirez, FIDE rating 2546 at the time. And this was played in the US Chess League, which is the precursor to the Pro Chess League. This was a long time control game. I think around game in 90 with a 30-second increment, if I recall correctly. And this was in a team match. I was playing for the Dallas Destiny. It's a team I played for several seasons, actually even managed for a couple seasons. I went to college down in Dallas, so played for the team down there. And in this game, I was suffering throughout. Let me say that right away. I'm going to flash forward through 95% of this game, but just to give a feel for what the position looked like prior to the incident in question. It was a Slav defense, which I still play today. And I remember feeling very cramped throughout this one. My opponent established a pawn duo, e4, d4, that I was never able to chip away at or find sufficient counterplay against. You can see I'm trying to play on the flank a little bit. And we'll proceed forward. At one moment, my opponent established knights on c5 and b6 that proved to be very annoying. And you can see Alejandro is doing a great job of avoiding unnecessary trades since he has more space here, and I'm pretty cramped. It makes sense for white to avoid unnecessary trades, so I remain cramped. And we reach this position right here. So knight b6, hitting my queen on a8. I played queen b8, and he played rook b1. This was a defining moment in the game because I played knight d5 at this moment, looking for some freedom. I do end up trading two minor pieces for a rook and pawn here. But I think I was mainly just trying to break free a little bit, simplify, swap some pieces so the space disadvantage wasn't so telling. But that clearly worked out in white's favor. He found this nice move, bishop a6, hitting my b-pawn, and I think the pawn is soon indefensible. I just decided to try to jettison it right away. So I played b5, and Alejandro went up a point of material here. And then for the next 20 plus moves, he really starts turning the screws. I still thought maybe I had a chance with the activity, but we ended up swapping queens. And this minor piece imbalance, the two minors against the rook, it's pretty hard to fight back against long term unless you have some targets. Or you have pawns that you can push. So the game continues, and I think we're approaching time pressure. Knowing me, I was probably in greater time pressure than Alejandro was. And right here, I played f5, which looks like a kind of an audacious move, but the point is, white's looking to play knight e5, pressuring f7 twice. So I thought, okay, let's play f5. But white played knight e5 check anyways, discovery from the rook. I played king g8. And then the following sequence happened very quickly. This is move number 56. So late in the game, time pressure. Following sequence happened pretty much immediately. Knight f7. Good move, forking the rook and the pawn. I move my rook to safety. Not too many options. You can see that white covers a lot of the squares that the rook could possibly go to safety. So rook c6. Alejandro took the pawn on h6 check. So now he's up 2 points of material with an extra pawn and the two minors against the rook. I played king f8, trying to flee towards the center. And now rook f7 check, king e8. And now a move I had missed a couple moves prior. He played bishop b5. And at this moment, with my rook pinned, I just assumed my position was lost. The game had been trending in white's favor for many moves now. Felt like I was dying a slow death. So I think I took a couple seconds and then just threw in the towel, just resigned. And many of you have probably seen why that was a premature resignation. And it was funny because after the game, I didn't suspect anything was amiss. I thought, okay, well, he just ground me down. I played reasonable moves, but, GMs are GMs for a reason. Sometimes you lose against them, and sometimes you get ground down in painful fashion. And it wasn't until a spectator actually, because this was played online on the Internet Chess Club, it wasn't until a spectator actually sent me a tell in the chat. He said, you know you resign in a drawn position, right? And I was talking with Alejandro a little bit too, and he was also initially confused because I think he thought black was completely busted as well after this seemingly game-ending pin, picking up more material. And we both looked at the position again, and in fact, the spectator was absolutely right. This position is a total draw. And if you've seen the draw, congratulations. If you want to see if you can figure it out, pause your video now. Black to move and draw. Okay, so black can achieve a draw by perpetual check. So I can play rook a3 check here. And let's say white plays king d2, looking to escape the checks, rook a2. And there are always checks available from the first, second, or the third rank. And it turns out, because I also control the c file with this rook, albeit a pin rook, white has no way to escape this perpetual with their king unless they want to block with their bishop at some moment, which actually puts white in danger of losing. So it's just a perfect perpetual check net with the control of the c file and the control of all of the ranks here. Really lovely configuration. And you can see that my pawn on f5 also does a great job controlling the flight squares here. So, you know, check, further checks. Remember, I can't check with this rook on c6 because it is pinned, but this rook can do all the work. And as I was saying, if white ever attempts to escape the perpetual by bringing the bishop back to block, no matter if that happens on d3, e2, or even f1, then my rook is no longer pinned and I can double up and go after the bishop, and I think white will lose this position because they're going to lose the bishop straight up. There's no other good attacking opportunities for white. The knight is kind of sidelined here, just defending the rook. And yeah, remarkably, that happens on, as I said, any of these ranks. Like, even if white goes all the way back to g1 with their king. So, you know, check, let's say check, check here, check on a1, bishop back to f1. Even here, we're doubling up immediately and winning the bishop. So this was a very humbling moment for me, and it's perhaps a good reminder of, you know, before you resign in a position, always double check to make sure that you don't have some last saving resource. And, you know, it sounds so simple to say that, but I think it's also a good example of how the trend of a game can really influence your thinking. And also this experience that many of you may have solving tactics where, you know, when you know a tactic is present or you know there's something good in the position, it's always so much easier to find the right move, right? You know, if someone had told me black to move and draw here, if someone had whispered that in my ear illegally, because you can't give anyone help during an actual game, but if someone had said that, hey, you can draw this position, John, I would have found rook a3, no doubt. Probably would have found it in a split second. But good example of how your thinking can be influenced by what's happening on the board, and you may lose your sense of objectivity. But always check to see if you have a last-ditch saving resource, especially a check or a capture, before you resign in a position. So that's how I resign in a drawn position against a grandmaster. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any similar incidents, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear them. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.